All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So, today's lesson is actually going to be about the end of World War One. And thing is, like I know, we just started it. So, how are we ending it? Well, you have to remember, the US wasn't in World War One that long. We were only there for like a year and a half, 2 years. I mean, it wasn't that long at all. Basically, the rest of the world was fighting it, and then when we joined in, we basically helped end it. But it was already tailing towards its end. Okay. Now, here is your warm up picture. Now, here's the thing before you start answering this question, okay, in order to answer this, I found out that it's best for me to explain how a bridge like this works, made of stone, okay, without metal, without steel and things like that, okay, because these bridges do work. Bridges from like the days of the Romans still stand. So if you notice, it says like Belgium, France, England, Italy on the bridge. That's the League of Nation bridge, okay. That's what they're using to show what the League of Nations was, using a bridge to kind of illustrate the point. Now, in order for a stone walkway, something like that, to function, you need the centerpiece to be strong. It cannot have any cracks and stuff like that. And that's why it's known as a keystone. Okay. So for a bridge to honest to truly function like this without steel, without anything like that, um, you need the keystone. And the keystone can't have it has to be again the strongest piece of the whole entire stone bridge. Okay. So with that being said, and now knowing that, what do you think this artist is trying to say about the United States and the League of Nations? Okay. So use what I said to help you out. Okay. If you really didn't understand it, rewind it, go back a minute or two, and listen to that again. Okay. So pause the video, write your response. If you put anything like, I see a man smoking, I see this, I see that, that's not what I'm asking. And you're automatically going to lose points on this. Okay. I'm telling you this right now. I said it in class, and I'm telling you guys that right now. If I read anything saying, there's a man, there's a guy smoking, I see this, I see that, that's not what I'm asking. You're losing points. Okay. So go back, listen to the explanation of how a bridge like this truly works, and then use what I said to help you out. Okay. So pause the video, write your response because we're moving on in three, two, one. So in total, the United States was only in 13 major battles. Okay. There was like 36, 38 major battles in World War One. We were only in 13. So we were in like about a third of them, you know, more or less. Now, we arrived in April 1917. We finally joined the war. And a lot of the French and British soldiers were so relieved that the US was here. They were like, yeah, you guys fight. You guys are fresh. You have the adrenaline. You guys are pumped. You're ready to go. We need to recover. We've been fighting for like 3, 4 years almost. We need to rest. Our soldiers need to be tended to. Their our wounds. We need to tend to our wounds. So yeah, go and fight, and we'll come and help you out. But we just need a break. Okay. Now, on January 8th, 1918, uh, President Woodrow Wilson gives a speech to Congress, and basically he outlines how the end of the war should be, and there's 14 things that we could do to prevent future wars from happening. Okay. The first thing he says is open diplomacy without secret treaties. So he's basically saying everyone should know where each other stands. We're cool with you, you're cool with us, we're not cool with these people, we know you're not cool with these guys. Because what would happen is a country like, let's say, France would be mad at a country like Germany, and in the United States or some other country would trade with Germany, and also France would be mad at them. Like, how come you're trading with them? Don't you know we hate them? Like, oh, I didn't know. You know, I don't know what's going on between you two. And then France would get mad at that country. So, I'm just giving an example, okay? But that way, nobody's offended, no one's upset because everyone knows, okay, you're mad at these people, you're mad at these people, you're cool with these people, and you're cool with these people. Okay, so I'm buddies with you, but I want to trade with this country, okay? So don't be all mad if I'm trading with these guys, all right? You know, and then everyone's knows where everyone is with everyone else, okay? So that way, no ill will, no anger, and stuff like that. Okay. Next one, economic free trade of the seas during war and peace. So it doesn't matter what's happening around the world. Trade should happen and be free to go around and people trade with one another. You know, so it doesn't matter if, let's say, Spain and Portugal are fighting and things like that. So they're fighting in the waters. Doesn't mean that they can sink ships just because they want to, because oh, we're at war. No, they no, you don't have the right to do that. Okay, you prevent that, a lot of ill will towards one another will cease. Speaking of trading, equal trade conditions for everyone. So it doesn't matter if um, this country, you know, is cool with you and this one's not. The price you pay for gold should be the same for everyone. Price you pay for silver, price you pay for oil, price you pay for whatever should be the same for everyone. It shouldn't be like, well, because you're cool, we're gonna give you a big discount. Because we hate you, we're gonna raise the price on you for this and that. You know, it shouldn't be like that. Next one, decrease in armaments, which is weapons. Now you have to think of weapons back then as like guns and bullets and soldiers and tanks and things like that. You know, we're not talking about nuclear weapons because nuclear weapons isn't invented yet. It's not till World War II that it's invented. Okay, some students in class were asking about that. Yeah, no, nuclear bombs are not during this time. Okay, adjusting colonial claims. So they're basically saying these countries that went around saying, "Oh, we own this country, we own this land." They're like, "Yeah, no, there were people already living there. So you need to have some discussion with those people. See, like, hey, let's work out a deal. Let's try to work out something because, yeah, they're gonna be mad at you because they've been living there forever, and here you go just saying this is my land now. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Evacuation of all Central Powers from Russia, and Russia is basically to define its own independence, what kind of country they want to be. At this point, they're a communist country. They're going to stay a communist country for like the next like 60, 70 years, Um, but the thing is, the Central Powers, Germany, Austria Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, he's telling them, you guys need to get out of Russia. Okay. Next one, Belgium is to be evacuated and restored. So again, Belgium, hey, you've been through hell. You need to, here's a chance for you to rebuild. We're going to help you out because, hey, you deserve it. This next part is this Lorraine region, that is a part of France that was taken over by Germany. And basically saying, no, no, France gets that land back and all the land that they had before, Germany took it. Also, speaking of changing borders, Italy gets to have more land. Okay. Not like a ton of land, but good size amount, not too bad. Austria Hungary. You should have learned this last year, but just in case you didn't know, Austria Hungary used to be one country, Austria, another one, Hungary. And what happened is they joined together to form one giant country. So now he's saying, hey, you guys decide. What do you want to do? Stay together or separate and be your own countries? And they would separate. Okay. Now, speaking of that too, they lost a lot of territories. Same thing with Germany, and new countries were formed and new borders were created, especially in the Balkan area. So Romania, Serbia, Montenegro, um, some of these places became new countries, and some countries got bigger. Okay, the creation of Turkish states. So like Turkey, current day Turkey. Um, became their own country, and free trade was allowed in that area. Okay. The next one is very, very important because it plays a role, a crucial role in what happens with World War II. And that's number 13, the creation of an independent Polish state. Poland was part of Germany, but basically because of World War One, Germany lost like half its land, and a huge chunk of that became Poland, and that's going to play a huge role again when we talk about World War II. So keep that in the back of your head, okay? The last one is the League of Nations, okay? The creation of it. The League of Nations was basically a united group of countries, and it was a way of preventing other countries from attacking countries who are part of the League of Nations. So think of it like this: if you have a little brother or sister, and somebody older than them picks on them, starts bullying them, right? You're going to defend them. Just defend your little brother and sister, right? You might even get your other brothers and sisters or your cousins. That's basically how the League of Nations was. A country like Belgium, who's barely getting on the feet, some of that, if somebody was going to attack them, Belgium could then rely on France, Britain, United States, Russia, Italy to back them up. And so that basically told these other countries, you pick on this country who's in our group, we're coming after you. Okay, so they're trying to scare any countries from picking on other countries, especially smaller ones. Okay, so you'll learn about this next year when you're in government class. But according to the Constitution, under Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution, and Article 2 is mainly about the powers of the president. Section 2 says in there that a president can make a treaty with any country, but it has to be approved by Congress by 2/3 majority or better. Okay. So basically, for every three senators, three House of Representative members, two of them have to vote for it. Okay. Thing is, a large majority of Americans really liked the first 13 points. They were like, oh my God, that's so smart. That's so great. That would work. That'd make the world so much better. But the 14th point, the League of Nations, they didn't like that. Because to a lot of Americans, they were like, okay, if a country attacks, let's say Estonia, okay, what's that gonna do with us? That has nothing to do with us. Let European countries figure that stuff out. We're way over here. So it's kind of like if your neighbors are shouting, screaming at each other, and stuff like that. Are you gonna bust through their front door and stop them from fighting and yelling? No, no. You might listen, right? Hear that cheese and stuff, but you're not going to knock down that door and stop them from fighting. That's basically what a lot of Americans felt. No, no, that's their problem. Okay. Thing is, they were coming close to an election year. And a lot of people were telling these senators, hey, if you vote for this treaty, we're not voting for you in the next election. Okay. And you have to remember, a lot of these senators and these government official people, they like their nice government jobs. They like them. And so the Senate did not approve and adopt the treaty. So, with that being said and done, countries like Belgium, France, Britain, Russia, uh, Italy, they joined the League of Nations, except the only country that didn't was the United States. And we never did. Now, a student asked me in class, well, aren't we in something like that, like the League of Nations or something? It's like, no, no, no. We're in the United Nations, the UN. Okay. Totally different. Okay. One was from World War One. That's the League of Nations. This is later on. Okay, the UN. It's from later on. Well, which we'll get to in a little bit. Well, a couple months. So the war officially ended November 11th, 1918. Okay. For years, November 11th was known as Armistice Day. Armistice means like a truce. Okay. So on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the treaty was signed. Okay. Now, for years, the day was known as Armistice Day. It was celebrated as a holiday. Now, you may be wondering, well, how come I've never heard of Armistice Day? Well, you haven't. Because in 1954, they changed the name of Armistice Day to Veterans Day. Okay. Now, like I said in class, Veterans Day is when we celebrate and honor the soldiers who are currently serving and who have served and are still alive. Okay. That's Veterans Day. Memorial Day, that's the day we honor those who died in battle, who were soldiers, and those who have passed away but have served. Okay. So Veterans Days for the living soldiers, whether currently serving or out of the service, and Memorial Day is for anybody who's passed away that served in the military. Okay. Now, here's the thing: the U.S. soldiers came back home and they're cheering, "Woo! We made it! Yeah, we won!" Right? And they return home to their houses that basically looks still the same since they left. Their towns are still the same. The factories they worked in still there. But for a lot of soldiers throughout Europe, Britain, France, Belgium, Germany, Russia, um, their homes are destroyed. Their towns are destroyed. Um, they are basically now rebuilding. While the United States soldiers are woo celebrating, yeah, things like that. So big contrast between American soldiers of World War One and basically European soldiers of World War One. Okay. So with that being said, hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. Um, Again, I forgot to mention this in the last video, but I'll say it in this one. Um, there is no question at the end because, again, that is an exit ticket in class. You cannot make up an exit ticket by doing that same paper. Okay. What you can do to make it up for one exit ticket is do a crossword puzzle, which I will be able to give you next week. Um, but that's only if you do one. Okay. You can only do one word search type of thing, and that's it. You can't be doing like 8 of them and thinking you're going to get credit for 8 of those exit tickets that you missed. Okay. So if you miss like 2, 3, 4, whatever, I will have another assignment for you to do to make up for that. Okay. Just remind me next week. Okay. So with that being said, guys, you take care, you be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Okay.